Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran, and I've been mainly doing a lot of the YouTube and stuff ever since, I guess, COVID. And there were like a lot of things that were happening during COVID. The whole pencils down thing happened, Diamond shutting down distribution. I was still continuingly working on a monthly series at DC Comics at the time, and DC basically did a weird pivot to get outside of Diamond and still distribute comics when Diamond shut down. And I remember talking to, I think, Dan at the time, Dan DiDio, and one of the things he said is that could have always happened years ago. What was strange is that it's happening now. So I want to talk a little bit about that in this video because every now and then I like to look around and look at what's happening in the American comic book world. And Diamond is kind of coming up. There's a little bit of Diamond news like blips all over the map. And I've been noticing this for like the last couple of months. But guys, I'll be honest, this is convoluted in a weird way, but if you kind of just step back from it and look at it from afar, it's nothing good here for Diamond. And look, I've won Diamond Awards before. I think I've met the Jeppies before. I've never really had an issue with Diamond. I've heard multiple different stories from retailers of why they either like or dislike Diamond. But look, guys are always complaining about shipments. That's normally my big takeaway when it comes to Diamond. Retailers have historically, to me, never really been happy with Diamond. They're always getting a damaged copy or something like that, and they're always upset. But it's different this time. More Diamond comic distributor delays and comic book store stress. Now, a lot of this has to do with basically shipments and invoices and boxes and stuff like that. But a lot of this actually kind of is happening because Diamond, and again, there's a lot of news here, and Bleeding Cool is horrible, guys. They closed a Plattsburgh warehouse in New York. I don't know how this affects publishers in a way because it's actually close to Canada, and two major publishers, Transcontinental and other Canadian printers, basically there was a little bit of a shipment, I'm assuming price break, because it didn't really have to go that far across the border to hit a warehouse, and from there, get busted down into other warehouses from Diamond. So again, Diamond closing this warehouse, doing less business. Why? Because of Penguin Random House coming in, swooping in, getting your Marvel comics, obviously getting DC comics. And that's not exactly. See, I'm perplexed by Penguin Random House swooping in for distribution. And I've always have been for a reason, mainly because DC Comics and I dealt with them when we did Superman Earth 1. And they were interested in getting books into major bookstores in a different way, the different part of the book market. Like, understand, Penguin Random House handles tons of pro book stuff, real book stuff, not the funny books. But Superman Earth 1, Levitz really wanted to hit like a different type of market. So I guess pre-ordered and shopped around in the what would at the time be the pro book market, meaning like the book would have to be done 6 months before it would ever even turn up in a store, and go through a different type of advertising and catalog than the Diamond comic book normal direct market stuff. And it's interesting that Penguin Random House would then want to handle monthly comics. I'm still perplexed by that in a way. But I mean, if there's a market there and people are unhappy with Diamond, mainly publishers, and that also is something too. There were a lot of publishers that were ready to jump off that train, the Diamond train, the second they shut down during COVID. And a lot of people today are still saying like, well, why did they shut down? It just, it was a big disruption to everybody. That decision was made then for whatever reason. And you guys can go back on the tapes on that. But here we are today. And dude, I'm still seeing like effects all around. And one of the things that I guess I had seen but didn't really scratch my head at, Penguin Random House buys Boom Studios. Okay, a company and a lot of the, I guess, the shareholders, not shareholders, but the board, which again, Paul Levitz was on the board and Ross Ritchie kind of stepped aside. Okay, so Penguin Random House, and again, I'm really going to start looking at these guys a little bit differently. Something's really happening here. Stepping aside on this, buying a comic company. I mean, right now, to me, there's a couple of books that come to mind that people talk about when it comes to Boom, but I never think of them as Boom. And one, I always think of Keanu Reeves, and that's Berserk, which again was crowdfunded, or at least Kickstarter was there. It went to the direct market, but I would argue a big majority of its money, if not the mass majority of its money, was off Kickstarter. Another book I don't read, Something's Bothering the Children or Something's After the Children. It's one of those books. It's got one of those weird names I don't read, but I know it by name. And then the rest of it, and this is what perplexes me, is all like a licensed book. I mean, you're not buying a company to get these license. It's kind of like you could just buy the license, just wait for it to run out and buy that. But some of these aren't even outside of Power Rangers and maybe Dune or The Expanse. They don't seem like huge license like Garfield, Firefly, Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. I mean, they don't seem too big. Now, Boom has had a history of doing some creator-owned books that used to have, if my memory serves right, a first film refusal from Fox, which I guess now would be Disney. But some of these things have been turned into movies like Two Guns, The Empathy Man, Just Beyond, and stuff like that. So again, I just don't see the big buy. Like I would think like, and rather than buy Boom, I would just do what Boom does. But they've been bought. Okay, so that's where we are today. So you would think, okay, well, everything's going to get better for Diamond. You know, they say here, oh, we're still distributing through Diamond, which makes no sense because you're distributing Marvel and DC comics. Why would you still distribute your Boom books through Diamond? Well, you're not. Basically, Boom Studios to switch from Diamond Comics to Penguin Random House. So the big thing, and again, guys, I said this was going to be convoluted, but the one thing to take away here is basically everything is pretty soon going to be distributed through Penguin Random House. And it seems like retailers, while I'm looking at retailers talking about it, they do not like how they're getting their invoices through Diamond. Something's broke. They don't like boxes they're using and it's damaging books. Whereas everybody seems to be liking Penguin Random House. From what I can tell, I just don't think like retailers like having to order from multiple places at this point. But I don't know. Like, this is a bit of a conspiracy theory, but could Penguin Random House become the place where basically Marvel and DC say, hey, we don't want to be in comic publishing anymore. We don't want to hire, we don't want to have the building. We don't want to have the staff. We don't want to deal with that. What if you guys just print our books? What if you guys just give us Disney a licensing fee and you print the Marvel comics for us? You produce them, you get them together and all that stuff, and you guys just give us a licensing fee. And are we getting to that? I mean, the reality is whatever happened during COVID-19 and the disruption in the American comic book industry, we're way past that. But we're at a point now where people are looking back and pointing fingers and what should have done, what could have done, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all of that stuff. But I'm more interested where this is headed because, like, Penguin Random House has always been like a big monolith in a way in just publishing, right? Not so much comics, but that. But them coming in like they are. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of, I don't want to say aggressive moves, but it seems like COVID shutdown was only a few years ago, and maybe I'm wrong, but a lot has changed in the comic industry in that time. I mean, not just how the companies are handling the characters. I mean, we kind of went through that, but I'm just talking about on the street. I mean, we oftentimes talk about the race swapping, gender swapping, all of that stuff of these characters, but there's a lot of motion, I guess, in the foundation of the distribution of comics that nobody's really paying attention to right now. And I don't know if it's going to stop just with who gets what to a comic shop. I mean, this could easily switch. You have to understand, Penguin Random House has the ability to produce books. Okay, they have editors. They're buying out Boom. They're going to be able to produce a line of comics if they want, and they're going to have a direct line to the retailers on top of that. Like, what you might be seeing here is a lot of consolidation could happen if some company like Disney or God forbid Warner Brothers gets traded or sold off one more time, which they are trying to separate them to see what the worth of DC Comics is, mind you, but ahead of the gun stuff too. I mean, what if they go, yeah, license this shit out, get rid of these staffers. We don't have to deal with that. Just pay us money and we're happy with that. Let's get out of the publishing game because the market we're never going to compete with manga. We lost a whole generation of readers. It's a lot of work to rebuild, a lot of years, a lot of elbow grease, talented comic runs, all of that. Or well, how about, doesn't it sound better than to do all that hard work and take some risk and inject capital into the direct market? What if we just had somebody give us a licensing fee and they make Superman books or Batman books or whatever, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, all the big properties that sell the t-shirts and stuff, because why not? It seems easier, right? It's either you invest and you put in work or you just get paid by somebody else. And I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of weird movement with like Warner Brothers putting out license that they own, Thundercats, Space Ghost, Hanna-Barbera stuff, to Dynamite Comics. I'm telling you, there's a lot of uncertainty all the way from a distribution level to a publishing level right now in the American comic books. The only person that doesn't seem to be scratching their head right now is Penguin Random House. They're the only people in all of this, if I'm trying to read it from afar, that do seem to have a goal. And I'm curious what that goal is, because they're the only one actually making a direct move consistently in any of this. If you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, let me know what your predictions are on this. 2025, 2026, guys, and comics, what does it look like? It looks like Inglorious Rex moving way past $250,000, $257,146, guys. If you consider, please help us beat the evil, which is Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex 2, which was $258,000. We are a little over $800 from defeating the evil. If you guys haven't backed this book, please consider doing it. And also, if you go to 9livescomics.com and you're new to this project, you can get books shipped to your mailbox next day. Inglorious Rex 1, Inglorious Rex 2. We also have Extend and our all ages book, Starlight Cats. Multiple buying options. Please scroll our store for any books that you want to ship out the next day. I guess you can still get stuff in time for Christmas. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for Inglorious Rex, our monster hit book, and we'll catch you guys again with another video.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first, reverse, now you last. Blast of the past. It's cool though. Last card, play it right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride. We ready to slide. Hard headed. I